Well, we're excited, obviously, to survive in advance, and felt good about beating a good team in Marist, but certainly know how good of a program Maryland is and the kind of talent they have on the court. And, we're looking forward to the challenge ahead.
We'll now continue with the question and answer session with Coach Merchant and the Michigan State student athletes. We'll ask for you to wait for the microphone, and also please identify yourself and your affiliation prior to asking the question. Gene?
Gene Wong with the Washington Post. Coach Brenda Fries was talking about how she sees the programs as mirror images with the injuries both teams have had to kind of absorb and persevere through this season. Could you speak to that a little bit and kind of your thoughts on Maryland's situation and your situation this year, too?
Yeah, we've both had, some pretty key injuries, no question. We had 2 ACLs and an Achilles tear, and I think all 3 of theirs are ACLs as well. So, yeah, it seems to be an epidemic around women's basketball lately. But I think the one core thing that we've seen out of our teams, each one of us, is that, the kids that are playing are just – they're not going to make an excuse. They're going to go out there and fight and compete and challenge themselves to be the best they can be and have every intent to go out there and win the game regardless of the circumstances. So, a lot of the credit, I think, for where both of our teams are at this point, it goes to the players out there in the uniforms that have to endure long minutes and, not easy things to have to overcome and probably a lot of aches and pains themselves that they have to fight through. There's no time to be sick. There's no time for back spasms or colds or anything like that. We just, you don't have the depth. So I think speaking from both sides of it, I think, there's a lot of similarities that way. But I think at the end of the day, our programs are where they are because we have kids that fight pretty hard every day in a uniform.
You were saying last night that you had to shorten your rotation, define your rotation earlier in the season because of your injuries. How have you had to adjust practice as well? Have you had to shorten the practice not to wear the legs out for the games?
Yeah, I don't know. We might battle Maryland for most walkthroughs we're like the NBA, just, get in, get a few shots up, walk through some things, and that's about it. I think that's a big thing is we do try to simulate, do it in short segments, and, really just gauge what they can do. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about game night and having the most mentally and physically freshest team you can be to put out there. So the one nice thing about my team, I felt like all year long, is that the core group of kids that we had play were very high IQ kids in terms of the basketball world. And they were able to take a film set, watch it, talk about what we have to do, and just do it in a walkthrough, literally do it in a walkthrough and be able to simulate it live on game day. So I think that really helped us. But yes, we definitely pulled back, and we pulled back more in November. Normally it's like late January, but for us it was mid-November and early December. But we found a way, we found what works for us.
Alan Etzler, Capital News Service. Coach Fries talked about the relationship you guys had in your MAC days. How excited are you to rekindle that relationship and that rivalry, I guess, as Maryland joins the Big Ten and tomorrow night? Yeah, I've known Brenda a long time, real long time. From the first time I got in the business, I was a head coach, Division II head coach when I was 25, and she was the assistant at Iowa State. And, I spent some time, obviously, with Bill Fenley. That was the head coach at Iowa State and still is. And, just trying to figure out some of the things that he did well. I always admired him as a coach, so got to know Brenda that way. And, it's unique, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean, we're both moms and 2 boys and, in a crazy profession sometimes when you have family, that's hard. And but I've really appreciated, her drive and her competitiveness and her team's battle. I think she does a great job. Everywhere she's been, she's, really been successful. So it's kind of fun to get reconnected again.
Can you kind of expand on the whole Maryland joining the Big Ten kind of thing? This might be the beginning of a rivalry, I guess. I don't know, something like that. Like this is.
Yeah. Well, there was Conference Appreciation Weekend here with Quinnipiac going into Marist League, and now Maryland coming into our league, so we're gonna find out. But yeah, it's interesting. You know, it's still hard to kind of put your mind around growing up as a Big Ten person, thinking of Maryland and Rutgers in the Big Ten. But you know, they've got a great program and great women's program on both sides in Rutgers and Maryland, and it adds a unique twist to the Big Ten, just like Nebraska did when they come in. But when they came in the league, so you know, we're looking forward to it, and you know, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's just the nice thing is we've been back here twice now, so the next time we play, we'll be like, you know, the old veterans here in terms of the Big Ten rivalry with Maryland.
Courtney, can you just kind of talk about the challenge that Maryland front court led by Alyssa Thomas will kind of present for you guys tomorrow?
Well, Alyssa Thomas is a very good player. We saw film on them today, so we just have to be able to match their physicality. We know that they have a good transition game, so we have to be ready for that. But I think our guards play good defense, so I think it'll be a good matchup for Monday.
Jasmine, I think you've sat out only 18 minutes in the last 9 games. Anything special you do to keep yourself so durable out there?
To be honest, it's not really much I do. It's just, you know, being mentally prepared to go in the game and try to contribute all 40 minutes if I have to. So it's just a mindset, to be honest.
Maryland and Marist are sort of opposite styles in how they play. How difficult is it to prepare for a team like Maryland after you just played Marist on only 24 hours notice?
Well, we feel like our non-conference and the conference has, you know, really prepared us for that. For example, in our league, Nebraska plays a very outside-in style. Michigan plays a very outside-in style. So we were ready for Marist in a lot of ways, and then you turn around and have to play a Penn State, a Purdue, people like that, and you have to really have the power and the strength to go at their power and their strength. So, you know, I think we've been battle tested in that regard. You know, I think there's no question that Maryland, you know, Courtney alluded to it, their transition offense certainly, and their ability to get rebounds and their physical play is completely different than Marist, but we have, you know, throughout the conference, most of our conference is probably a little more like Maryland than more like Marist. So I felt like, you know, we spent quite a bit of time on Marist just because of the unique style and challenges that they presented. And, you know, that's the team you knew you were playing. So, you know, we were really prepared as we came forward. And I do think our conference and some of the battles we faced will prepare us for Maryland as well.
Daniel Gowan with the Diamondback. Maryland's a team that really likes to run, push the ball, score a lot of points. You guys like to slow it down. You know, are you concerned about getting into a track meet with them at all?
Well, I mean, they're certainly at their best, I think, when they're in transition. There's no question. And we have a player like Alyssa Thomas, who's our best defensive rebounder and can, you know, bring it up the floor like that and create shots for herself and for others. And the speed and the power in which she brings the ball presents a lot of challenges. You know, I feel like we're a team that has been prepared where we can play, you know, court-to-court, smash mouth, I guess, if you will. And we've been up and down, too. We've played some track meets as well. I mean, our kids are athletic, and they run, and, you know, we're not slow by any stretch of the means. Our bigs can go. Our guards can go. So I feel like our team, you know, can handle both situations. You know, if they get up and go and get away from us in transition, I think we'll be able to get back and match their speed. I do think then, you know, in the quarter-court, too, I think we got to be able to match their power as well. But, you know, I'm not too interested in whether it's a track meet or not. I'm just more interested in, you know, making sure that everybody's guarded, especially that Thomas kid.
Coach, all year you made a point to sort of lock down the other team's best player. With all the things that Thomas can do with the height, the passing ability, and all of that, I guess just sort of what's the plan with her? You know, who do you plan on sticking on her? And I guess what kind of challenges does she present to you guys?
Yeah, she represents a lot of challenges. I'm not giving up any plans, though. But, you know, you mentioned, you brought up a good point. I mean, it doesn't really it's not an end-all, be-all with Alyssa Thomas. I think that's the thing. She makes her teammates better. They got a great shooter in Rutan. They've got the Hawkins kid. I mean, she's unbelievable, unbelievable. I mean, those are 2 first-team All-ACC players and a 2-time ACC Player of the Year. Double-doubles. You know, so for us, we've faced a lot of teams that might have 1 kid that's a double-double, but never really 2. So, you know, they present a lot of challenges just in the way that those 2 kids play. And the kids around them are very, very good and capable players as well.
Because of the amount of points that Alyssa Thomas and Hawkins and the rest of the Terps can score, do you feel any urgency in making sure that Clarissa Bell comes out and gets hot for the first time in a couple games?
Be nice. I don't know about urgency. You know, I think, you know, you're going to have to match their ability to score the ball a little bit. Certainly, you know, that's what they do a good job of is scoring points. And so for us, you know, part of our defense is dictated a little bit by our ability to match the offensive side too. As simple as that sounds. I mean, if you're not scoring the ball, it makes it, your defense isn't as good. You know, just the way it is. So, you know, it'd be nice to get Clarissa back going again, but, you know, we've been able to win a few games without her. You know, it'd just be nice to have everybody on the same page. And this might be a night where if something like that happens, we might be a little more exposed and could be in a little bit more trouble.
On one hand, I guess it speaks volumes that the 2 teams have persevered through all these injuries to become number 4 and number 5 seeds. But you help but imagine what it would be like if both of you had all your players. What kind of game this could be? This could be like a 1 and 2.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, be interesting to see, wouldn't it? Be fun. I would take it.
Question in the back, please.
Courtney and Jasmine, as the captains and everything, I'm guessing you guys don't need any more motivation for this game, playing a road game, you know, being the lower seed and, you know, knowing if you guys lose, you're going home. You know, how do you get the team, you know, you sort of amped up for this? You know, do you not need to do anything, or is there something you guys feel like you need to do as leaders to sort of just give the team that spark?
I mean, I just think, you know, aside from being captains, seniors as well, we kind of know, you know, like you said, the urgency it takes and determination to go out there and play each and every game. And just to get everybody on the same page, we know, you know, kind of what we're here to do. And I feel like everybody is on the same page, and we just have to have contributions from everybody.
Any additional questions? Joe?
Are your 3 injured players with you on the trip?
Mm-hmm. We got more than 3. We got 4 now. The fractured face, you forgot about that. That happened a couple games ago. I think the day they got their mono girl, or maybe they had mono, the one that got mono, within a week or so, our facial fracture happened. So.
Any more questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks.